morning, everybody. Yeah, I know, it's late, but just because it's late doesn't mean I'm going to stop. So, I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 4, which is autosuggestion, the next chapter after faith, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind, the third step towards riches. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, hi Sandra. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind. Whether these thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion, with the exception of thoughts picked up from the ether. Stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious mind or rejected at will. The conscious faculty serves, therefore, as an outer guard to the approach of the subconscious. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control, in the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Hi, Scott. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden of the mind. Can we turn that down a little bit, please? Did you hear me? Thank you. You were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described in the chapter on desire to read aloud twice daily, the written statement of your desire for money, and to see and feel yourself already in possession of the money. By following these instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of this process, you voluntarily create thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. Can we turn it down, please? Huh? You didn't have to turn it. Don't be ridiculous. Go back to these 6 steps described in chapter 2 and read them again very carefully before you proceed further. Then, when you come to it, read very carefully the 4 instructions for the organization of your mastermind group, described in the chapter on organized planning. By comparing these 2 sets of instructions with that which has been stated on autosuggestion, you, of course, will see that the instructions involve the application of the principle of autosuggestion. Remember, therefore, when reading aloud the statement of your desire through which you are endeavoring to develop a money conscience that the mere... Sorry, give me just a second. I will fucking unplug this thing and we won't even fucking worry about it. It is 12 o'clock at night. There's no reason for it to be all the way up on 97.
It was on 40.
And it tops out at 50. We're not deaf. Jesus. Sorry about that, everybody. Get mad all you want. Shove that shit up your ass. Remember, therefore, when reading aloud the statement of your desire through which you are endeavoring to develop a money conscience. Jeez. It's going to fall again. A money consciousness that the mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix emotion or feeling with your words. If you repeat 1,000,000 times the famous Emile Coué formula, day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better, without mixing emotion and faith with your words, you will experience no desirable results. That's not working very well. Perfect. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter. Because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of autosuggestion get no desirable results. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no applicable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words, hi Travis, which have been well emotionalized with belief. Do not become discouraged if you cannot control and direct your emotions the first time you try to do this. Remember, there is no such possibility as something for nothing. Ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind has its price, and you must pay that price. You cannot cheat, even if you desire to do so. The price of ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting persistence in applying the principles described here. You cannot develop the desired ability for a lower price. You and you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving, the money consciousness, is worth the price you must pay for it in effort. Wisdom and cleverness alone will not attract and retain money except in a few very rare instances where the law of averages favors the attraction of money through these sources. The method of attracting money described here does not depend upon the law of averages. Moreover, the method plays no favorites. It will work for one person as effectively as it will for another. Where failure is experienced, it is the individual, not the method, which has failed. If you try and fail, make another effort, and still another until you succeed. Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. When you begin to carry out the instructions in connection with the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter, it will be necessary for you to make use of the principle of concentration. Let us here offer suggestions for the effective use of concentration. When you begin to carry out the first of the 6 steps, which instructs you to fix your own mind to the exact amount of money you desire, hold your thoughts on that amount of money by concentration or fixation of attention, with your eyes closed until you can actually see the physical appearance of the money. Do this at least once each day, As you go through these exercises, follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith and see yourself actually in possession of the money. Here is a most significant fact. The subconscious mind takes any orders given it in a spirit of absolute faith and acts upon those orders, although the orders often have to be presented over and over again through repetition before they are interpreted by the subconscious mind. Following the preceding statement, consider the possibility of playing a perfectly legitimate trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, you must have the money, the amount of money you are visualizing, that it is money, that this money is already awaiting your claim, that the subconscious mind must hand over to you practically plans for acquiring the money which is yours. Hand over the thoughts suggested in the preceding paragraph to your imagination and see what your imagination can or will do to create practical plans for the accumulation of money through transmutation of your desire. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting meanwhile that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans you need. Be on the alert of these plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through the sixth sense in the form of an inspiration. This inspiration may be considered a direct telegram or message for infinite intelligence. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. Failure to do this will be fatal in your success. In the fourth of the 6 steps, you was instructed to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once to put this plan into action. You should follow this instruction in the manner described in the preceding paragraph. Do not trust to your reason when creating your plan for accumulating money through the transmutation of desire. Your reason is faulty. Moreover, your reasoning faculty may be lazy, and if you depend entirely upon it to serve you, it may disappoint you. When visualizing with closed eyes the money you intend to accumulate, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise you intend to give in return for this money. This is important. Summary of instructions. The fact that you are reading this book is an indication that you earnestly seek knowledge. It is also an indication that you are a student of this subject. If you are only a student, there is a chance that you may learn much that you did not know. But you will learn only by assuming an attitude of humility. If you choose to follow some of the instructions but neglect or refuse to follow others, you will fail. To get satisfactory results, you must follow all instructions in a spirit of faith. The instructions given in connection with the 6 steps in the 2nd chapter will now be summarized and blended with the principles covered by this chapter as follows. First, go into some quiet spot, preferably in bed at night, where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat aloud, so you may hear your own words, the written statement of the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to give in return of the money. As you carry out these instructions, see yourself already in possession of the money. For example, suppose that you intend to accumulate $50,000 by the 1st of January. Hold on 1 minute. If you've seen me read in the past 2 days, you see, now I didn't read any of this book before I started reading it live. Well, I read the first 2 chapters before I started doing it live. But my goal was $50,000 by February of next year. Now, isn't that just a little bit coincidental that it's talking about $50,000 by the 1st of January? You see, these things that I've been learning, the steps that I've been taking, the books that I've been reading, the mentors that I've been following, have everything I've been doing just seems to roll along with everything that I'm planning, and it gives me an excited and ambitious feeling every single day. And you know, I worked 16 hours today, okay? We transferred 12 trucks all over the southern part of Indiana. And here it is, almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I am so driven and so dedicated to doing this that I'm still reading live at 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope people who watch this live, who watch me read this book to them, start to take in what this book is saying. Because if you keep an eye on me, if you watch my progress or my failures or whatever it is, you will see come February next year, I will have accumulated $50,000. Now, on to the next sentence. I'm sorry. Your written statement of your purpose should be similar to the following. By the first day of January, I will have in my possession $50,000, which will come to me in various amounts from time to time during the interim. In return for this money, I will give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and the best possible quality of service in the capacity of salesman of describe the service or merchandise you intend to sell. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time and in the proportion that I deliver the service I intend to render in return for it. I am awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow that plan when it is received. Second, repeat this program night and morning until you can see in your imagination the money you intend to accumulate. Place a written copy of your statement where you can see it night and morning, and read it just before retiring and upon arising until it has been memorized. Remember, as you carry out these instructions, that you are applying in the principle of autosuggestion for the purpose of giving orders to your subconscious mind. Remember also that your subconscious mind will act only upon instructions which are emotionalized and handed over to it with feeling. Faith is the strongest and most productive of these emotions. Follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith. These instructions may at first seem abstract. Do not let this disturb you. Follow the instructions no matter how abstract or impractical they may at first appear to be. The time will soon come if you do as you have been instructed in spirit as well as in act, when a whole new universe of power will unfold. Will unfold to you. Skepticism in connection with all new ideas is characteristic of all human beings. But if you follow the instructions outlined, your skepticism will soon be replaced by belief. And this, in turn, will soon become crystallized in absolute faith. Then you will have arrived at the point where you may truly say, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Many philosophers have made this statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny, but most of them have failed to say why he is the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his subconscious mind and through it gain the cooperation of infinite intelligence. You are now reading the chapter which represents the keystone to the arch of this philosophy. The instructions contained in this chapter must be understood and applied with persistence. If you are to succeed in transmuting desire into money, the actual performance of transmuting desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles are simply tools which to apply autosuggestion. Keep this thought in mind, and you will at all times be conscious of the important part of the principle. Right on, man. What makes you think that way? I mean, I'm kind of intrigued. But let me finish this. I'm almost done, and then we can talk. Be conscious of the important part of the principle of autosuggestion is to play in your efforts to accumulate money through the methods described in this book. Carry out these instructions as though you were a small child. Inject into your efforts something of the faith of a child. Now, if you've seen any of my other lives, you've seen me talking about children. Age 3, how a child of the age of 3 looks at the world, believes that anything is possible, and their mind isn't molded yet into what we are as adults. You know what I'm saying? They have a whole open mind, and they are more in touch with their dreams, with their subconscious, than we are. The author has been most careful to see that no impractical instructions were included because of his sincere desire to be helpful. After you have read the entire book, come back to this chapter and follow in spirit and in action this instruction. Read the entire chapter aloud once every night until you become thoroughly convinced that the principle of autosuggestion is sound, that it will accomplish for you all that has been claimed for it. As you read, underscore with the pencil every sentence which impresses you favorably. Follow the foregoing instruction to the letter, and it will open the way for a complete understanding and mastery of the principles of success. Now, that was chapter 4. Next is chapter 5, specialized knowledge. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this live is for anybody, not only me to get value out of it, not only me to learn something from it, but if any people out of the 173 people that follow me or that share it to other people get something out of it, then I have accomplished part of my goal. And also, I can go back and I can watch my lives and I can see my mistakes. I can see my self-excelling. I can see everything that's going on. Plus, I don't have to read it again. You know what I'm saying? I can just go back and I can watch my lives and read it to myself. This is, I mean, it was an idea that popped into my head, and so I decided to go with it. I have other ideas, like my cooking show. I still have all my recipes written down. I'm in the process of writing a recipe book, and that's just for hobby, and that's just because I like to cook, and I like it when my girls love my cooking and they want to eat my cooking. You know what I'm saying? All of these processes that I'm doing are projecting me to my goal, which is, let's see, this is July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months from now, okay? 7 months from now, I will have acquired $50,000, and my business will be prosperous, and I will probably have my book done by then. I will have my book done by then. It'll have a storyline to it. There will be some funny things in it. There will be some not so funny things in it. It just all depends. Because what I'm thinking about doing with it is I'll go back and I'll watch my lives, and what's going on with me that day, I'll put into the story. So everything, all of my lives, I think there's like 100 lives now, I'm going to put into a book. I'm going to make a story out of it. It's basically been my storyline. It's basically been my plan of action this whole time. And it really amazes me that this book is basically telling me to do the same thing that I've been doing. And so I know that I am on the right path to success, to not only wealthiness, but a happier, more fulfilling life. So explain to me, Mr. Scott, what makes me hot, and what exactly do you mean by hot? Please explain. I'm not trying to take it the wrong way. I just want to know what makes you say this. What have I done? What am I showing you that makes you feel this way? I can tell you, this has been kind of tough for me. For one, as you see, I'm not the very best at being a narrator, but I'm learning, and it's coming to me more as I do it more and more. Like, I'm gonna have to say, chapter 4 went a lot better than chapter 3, and it's really cool. If you don't mind, go back and, excuse me, I'm sorry guys. Go back and watch the 2 lives I did on chapter 3. It was a pretty long chapter, so I had to split it in half because my phone died. Let me know what you guys think of these first 3 lives on this book. If you think that it's a good idea for me to continue with my story, with this book, with my story, with my plan, and acting toward my goal this way, drop me a hell yeah or something. I'm just an ordinary guy. I do cuss a lot. I try not to, but it happens anyways, just because that's what I grew up around. It is something I'm trying to change. I had changed one thing, and that's the GD word. I don't use it. I can't say it anymore because there are a couple times here and there that I have used it, but I try not to use it as much because I don't want to damn the Lord that created me, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that we are all created by God, and He has a plan for all of us, and it is our job to figure out that plan. And books like this show us how to act to get to that plan, to get to what we desire the most. Because the first thought or the first part of anything is desire. You desire something, then you have faith, then you work out a plan, then you act on that plan, and it becomes what you desire. So, thanks for showing up. I know it's real early in the morning. I'm glad I had a few people show up on here. I appreciate y'all being here. I love my fans. I love you guys showing up and giving me love and support. Y'all have a good morning, and grind on today, people. I'll talk to you later.